Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Okay, I feel like we're going to finish early tonight, which I feel like is for the best for your mental health.
Huzzah! I love finishing early.
So yeah, let's move on to tweets.
Pleasing partners is hard. Anyway,
You're not wrong.
hi Cameron, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah. So Arch Stanton said, I've been an atheist all my life because I still have yet to hear a single person give me a sensible, believable reason to think a God exists. And Cameron says, who's going to tell him about fine-tuning?
The fine-tuning argument is basically just that there's a certain set of parameters that would allow for life, and we happen to be in the universe with that certain set of parameters, and it's so rare that could have happened. Anyway, I have a fucking Magic the Gathering deck here. I'm gonna shuffle it up real quick. Did you know that there's more than 70 billion fucking unique hands in a commander deck of Magic the Gathering, and any hand you have in that deck is such a rare and unique circumstance that you will likely never ever experience it ever again? Wow, the hand you drew must have been fine-tuned from God.
Cirrus.
Yeah?
You did it wrong. Yeah, I took a screenshot of one of the replies to this, and you were supposed to go to the straight puddle in the hole analogy.
The
Which,
puddle in the hole analogy
to be
is
fair,
boring.
I know, but it's valid.
It's a valid analogy. Isn't this hole shaped perfectly for me? No, I get it. The whole analogy is great, but my God, if there is one thing that I got super tired with reading through like atheist responses to Christianity stuff, it is hearing the same rebuttal. Not that the rebuttals aren't right. They can be correct, but it gets very, very boring to hear the same one across channels.
Without fine-tuning, there would be no puddle and no hole.
Without fine-tuning, there would be no atheist arguments against Christianity. Checkmate, theists?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know. I don't find fine-tuning to be very convincing because we don't have enough information to actually say whether or not the universe even is fine-tuned.
Correct. Not to mention, right, we run into this other huge problem where we go, hey, there's such a small probability that we could have ended up here. But that's not actually true, because that's not how numbers work. The probability that something is going to happen is chance, but the probability that something has happened is 1.
Mm-hmm.
You have a 100% probability of an event if the event has already occurred. You live here right now, so the event has occurred. The probability of this happening, of this universe as we understand it existing, is 1. That's not really that astounding. That's it. I have to use the restroom.
Okay. But I'm the one that's been drinking. Guess I can have one more. Hi, chat. How's it going? Oh my God. One of my kids' friends has started talking to chat just in everyday conversation. Like, I was driving him home, and every now and then, like if he said something that he thought was clever, he'd be like, "Chat, what do you think about this?" Like, just out of nowhere. Thank you for the hats, Anton 83 and the hydrate. The fascinator can go down. The hydrate can go up. Ooh, Jessa gets a week-long staycation. I am taking Heidi to a spa in Whitby for her birthday. And yes, she already knows. Just answer with unfollow. So no, this friend of theirs is so obnoxious that I just don't say anything when he's around. Like, I'm not supposed to not like my kids' friends, but I don't like this one. Okay. I was also I was joking about, and Heidi thought I was serious, but I was joking about like for the fundraiser this year. If we get to $20,000 raised, I'll start an OnlyFans. And I don't know. I was joking about that, but she thought I was serious. Then I'm like, you know what? I think we're vastly overestimating how many gay men are in my audience because they're the only ones who ever comment that they like the way I look. And I don't think there's enough of them to hit that goal. Rhino was AI all along. Where are you getting that from? Rhino, as a younger person, I would recommend talking to your kid about their friends. Yeah, no, we do talk about them, but at the same time, he's been a stable friend for ages, and I actually really do like his mother. I feel bad saying that I don't like him. Um, his mother is a good person who is a good influence on my kids, so I'm hoping that her being a good influence will negate her kid being a bad influence. But and the buy, don't forget the buy. Why are we bringing that up now? Oh, the buy men. This is not okay. Yeah, but anytime I've commented on my looks, the people that are in the comments being like, "Actually, you look good," is almost 100% people that start with like, "Well, I'm a gay man and I think you look good." So sure, buy men as well. But I get a lot of comments from gay men along those lines. Straight guy here, I love the way you look and I enjoy the sound of your voice. I've got bad news about your sexuality. Or good news, depending on how you look at it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You can know that a guy looks good without actually being attracted to him, I think. And I just spilled beer all over my sweater, so there we go. What is taking Sir so long? He's must be number two. Fucking Sir is always taking a shit in the middle of the stream. We're like, oh, we're gonna finish early, so instead of holding it, I'm just gonna go pinch it off now. Not sure how the fine tuning argument accounts for the first life on Earth finding oxygen a lethal toxin. Well, no, because the universe was fine tuned for anaerobic life, and then anaerobic life created too much oxygen. That created fine tuning for the oxygen loving life to evolve. Because that's fine tuning, right? That's not adaptation, that's fine tuning. Racking up ooze. That's a good point. I think I will go back to his stream and do a nice little redeem of my own. So I think I still have like 1,000 points. Mute so that you guys don't have. Oh, no, I accidentally unmuted it because it was already muted. Oh no, I have 713 points. What can I get for 713? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, that's another OO. Redeem. Hi, Circe's chat. I can actually see you at the moment. Apparently, it's my 26-month subiversary. I don't know what's going on over there, but I just pop into the Circe chat and I see Sylvie Snow saying trans snowboard and femby puppy noises. What? Hi, Circe chat. If y'all go to donate.vicerhino.com, you can get in on my fundraiser early. for Project Share. They do good work. They're pretty awesome. Almost got kicked out by my parents for refusing to be baptized when I was 7. That's what I missed. Ooh. I'm not sure how that goes to trans snowboard and femby puppy noises, but yeah, that's rough. I'm sorry you experienced that. I was actually confirmed at age 13. I still have my confirmation Bible. There's my confirmation Bible with it's got removable Corinthians. And yes, those highlights are from back when I was a Christian and I was reading the Bible diligently and highlighting important verses such as, and now these three remain, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. Much profundity. My spouse is irritated by your clickety-clackety keyboard. I love my clickety-clackety keyboard. Thank you very much. Do you know how hard I had to search to find a mechanical keyboard with macro buttons and that is split ergonomically? Because I use an ergonomic keyboard. Like my hands are too close together on a normal keyboard. I hate it. It was so fucking hard to find this. And the software for it is so janky that if I ever have to change the macros that I use, I'm not sure that I will. So I hope that I just always have to use the same macros. I apparently also highlighted circumcision is nothing and uncircumcision is nothing. Keeping God's commands is what counts. I can see my autistic brain looking at that and being like, okay, well, circumcision was a big deal to God in the Old Testament. Why isn't it a big deal in the New Testament? Okay, here it is saying that it doesn't matter either way. I probably missed the bit where he says that if you get circumcised, you have to keep the whole law. You threw away or donated a dozen ergonomic mechanical keyboards with macro switches or with macro buttons? Can you call me next time? I'll take those off your hand. Let's see, what else did I highlight? This book has a lot of I remember one of my someone's phone number. Patrick? Kathy? I don't know who Patrick and Kathy are. But yeah, I got a bunch of people's phone numbers in my Bible, apparently. Let's see. Because I remember a Christian lifestyle class teacher saying at one point that it should be your goal as a devoted Christian to one day have something highlighted on every page of your Bible. So you need to go through the whole thing and find something profound. And so here we are, Genesis 31:44 says, "Come now, let's make a covenant, you and I, and let it serve as a witness between us." I don't know why I underlined that. That seems kind of not all that profound, if I'm honest. Let's see. By day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and by night a pillar of fire to give them light. Okay. Why did I think that was... I don't know. Sometimes reading the underlined verses is just... Sometimes it's insightful, and it makes you think about, the person you used to be. Other times it's just why the fuck did I even bother with that? Oh, here we go. This one has a bookmark and a highlighted bit. And the bookmark has been... To faculty from Steve, January 2003. That's from high school, y'all. I was in high school when I put this in there. That's a printout of an email. So this is 2 Kings. When the king heard the words of the book of the law, he tore his robes. Is a verse that I highlighted. Your name is Steve. No, my name is Justin. This is probably Steve Sider. whose name I'm comfortable saying because it's generic enough. Like there's so many Steve Siders, and the Niagara Sider is a very common last name here, so I'm not really worried about that. You were in high school when I was in second grade. Yeah, no, me having a YouTube channel is a good way to make me feel old. You know how many people I've had be like, "Oh, I've watched your channel since I was a kid." Like, what the fuck do you mean since you were a kid? Go and inquire of the Lord for me and for the people and for all of Judah about what is written in this book that has been found. Great is the Lord's anger that burns against us because our fathers have not obeyed these words of this book. They have not acted in accordance with all that is written here concerning us. Apparently, I thought that was worth highlighting and putting a bookmark in. Yeah, I didn't get very far in here with the highlights. Those are the Psalms. Nothing worth highlighting in there, apparently. Psalm 91. That was one that I had Psalm 91 memorized for grade 8 Christian lifestyle class at one point. Isaiah 60. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. See, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness over the peoples, but the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. Nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn. I really would like to know what was going through my head when I highlighted some of these. And like that was one that like they're a little, you're not going to be able to see it on camera, but there's like little highlight marks on the side where like I would open it, and if I wanted to remember a page in particular, I would like highlight down the side so that while you're flipping through it, you can see like the first page where that highlight hits. That's like that's that little tick on the side there. So like this was one that I really wanted to remember. Check Ezekiel. I did not highlight Ezekiel 23:20. I know what you're getting at. Lamentations. Apparently I did highlight a lot of Ezekiel though. I did like me some apocalyptic stuff. Ezekiel 23. No, I got right past 23:20. But I'll read it for you anyway, because it's my favorite. There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emissions was like that of horses. Okay, this is one that I highlighted. You will drink your sister's cup, a cup large and deep. It will bring scorn and derision, for it holds so much. You will be filled with drunkenness and sorrow, a cup of ruin and desolation, the cup of your sister Samaria. You will drink it and drain it dry. You will dash it to pieces and tear your breasts. That I highlighted that. Like Ezekiel was one that I apparently liked because there's a lot of highlights in Ezekiel. Revelation is probably like that as well. Actually, Revelation was the first full book of the Bible that I just sat down and read from start to finish because it's a little bit trippy. Apparently I didn't highlight it though because there's no highlights in this, but yeah, I do remember sitting down and reading straight through the book of Revelation. Ooh, blue highlight. Everything was pink, now I got to blue. Where the fuck is Cyrus? How long can I read the Bibles to you guys before you get bored and leave? And they admitted that they were aliens and strangers on Earth. Take me to your leader. People who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they had been thinking of the country they had left, they would have had the opportunity to return. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. That sounds very friendly towards immigrants, which is not really surprising because that is a theme throughout the book, is be good to the immigrants, for you were once slaves in Egypt or whatever. But yeah, so that's give you a little tour through my book, read some of my highlights. I have no idea why I highlighted them.
Okay, I am alive now.
Oh, you're good. I resorted to reading the fucking Bible to the audience, Cyrus.
You resorted to reading the Bible?
Yes.
Oh, it's not the first time
grabbed,
you've done that.
I grabbed my confirmation Bible, I started flipping through it and finding like bits that I had highlighted, and I'd read the highlights, and then I'd try to figure out why I highlighted it and never found a good answer. I did find a printout of an email from 2003.
Okay, but what did you confirm?
Nothing. I did turn to Ezekiel 23:20. I didn't have that one highlighted, unfortunately, but I did, of course, read about the semen and horse dicks.
Yeah. And could you confirm anything from that when you did that, or like?
Was I supposed to?
I mean, it's a confirmation Bible. I'd assume something was getting confirmed.
Yeah, no, I was getting confirmed. I think you need to check your redeems.
Don't.
It's not a don't. I already did.
Don't.
Do it.
Wolfrain. Wolforian. Thank you for redeeming your points for an uwu. You can also go home.
I think
go to sleep.
I think you need to go further back than that.
Sleep your precious little head on a pillow and die. Dorina Dave says, y'all gonna cause Cirrus to eat a bullet. No, I went back to when Alan Michael resubbed and said a hell of a time for me to come back, which is when I left. So then we have Erie with an ooh, you fucking monster. We have Vice Rhino. I was taking a shit.
Yes, and I had to punish you for it.
And you made me ooh-woo when I was taking a shit.
You made me entertain the audience by myself. I'm bad at that. We both know it.
Oh my god, I made you do your job as an entertainer.
I know.
So upset. I'll never do it again. Mirlana says you were taking a poo.
Dark Falcon says VR's a closet furry, to which A. Chapman responded, closet?
Gideon Wells, thank you for subscribing. An anonymous gifter also gifted 2 subs. That's cool. Gideon Wells also dropped 500 bits. That's cool. An anonymous gifter also did a community sub. That's fucking great, y'all. I wish I didn't hate every one of you.
Okay, but nobody went to donate.vicerhino.com?
Well, Robert Adson, thank you for redeeming your points for an woo as well. Regios, thank you for the 100 bits. And My Little Geekery, thank you for the 15 bits. Cinder, thank you for gifting out a community sub. Twilight Give, thank you for redeeming out. Twilight Grim, thank you for redeeming your points for an woo. And Jeff Keefe, thank you for redeeming your points for an woo. There, I've done all of the... Oh god, I have to check my PayPal. God damn it! Fucking Gideon! On top of all of that, paid for a motherfucking ooh.
Yeah. Cool Ducks, thanks for the hats. Conton 83 and
I'm gonna go fucking eat drywall. I'm done.
Yeah. So nobody's donated at donate.vicerhino.com. But yeah, as far as the me being a furry thing goes, I'm not actually a furry, but I also don't care if people think that I am a furry, so I have no problem stoking those fires.
I hold the stance that putting your dick in a furry doesn't make you a furry. Some furry women are just fucking hot.
I'm pretty sure that my woman is not a furry woman. But
as a member of the Sonic the Hedgehog fandom,
I did text my editor out of nowhere being like, I need you to draw me a sexy rat.
You keep going on about this sexy rat.
It's a sexy rat.
While also trying to convince everybody you're not a fucking furry. I'm sorry, my guy, but nobody...
I'm not trying to convince anyone. I don't care if people think that I'm a furry. You're allowed to think that.
Is being dissuaded from that stance.
You're a scaly, though, says Nefarious Name of Doom. I assume that's just a furry for snakes.
Or dragons.
I didn't say I was into snakes. That one's Cirrus. I'm just like, crush me,
I didn't
mommy.
say I was into snakes. I said Lamia women.
And I just said, crush me, mommy.
And if it happens to be a Lamia woman, so be it.
Exactly. Okay, well, y'all are lucky that the fundraiser hasn't officially started yet, so I will
Clueless
forgive the
Expert,
zero
thank you for
donates.
gifting 5 community subs. And Ninjas, thank you as well. Oh, God, I'm going to need ibuprofen after this.
Next tweet. Eric Dougherty says, breaking! Zoran Mamdani has just been caught red-handed changing his story after saying his Muslim aunt had a very rough time wearing hijab in public after 9/11. It was a cousin of his father, who is no longer alive, named Zarafui. It has been exposed that Zoran's Muslim aunt didn't live in New York City at the time of 9/11. Everything about this dude is a fraud. This is only the latest example.
Wait, what?
He called his father's cousin his aunt. And so that
People do
counts as
that
a
all the
lie.
fucking time.
So
What?
that counts as a lie.
That's not a lie, though, because an aunt, just like how the word dad can be described onto different people in different circumstances, the word aunt is just a word to denote somebody who is kin of your father or mother.
I mean, it can also be used to refer to friends. Just ask my kids about their Auntie Claire. We're not
Yeah,
related to Auntie Claire that we know of, but she's
Eric
their Auntie
Daughtery.
Claire.
Eric Daughtery, do you have a White House press pass? Because that sounds like somebody who would now have a White House press pass.
Oh, we live in a timeline where do you have a White House press pass is an insult.
Yeah, we do.
God damn.
We do.
That's that's depressing. But like, so my take on this is like, okay, I will let this be a scandal on one condition. Hold all politicians to the same high standard when it comes to lying. If you get
Where
caught saying one untrue thing ever, your career is over. Okay? I'm okay with that. And that would, I recognize that would end most Democrats' careers, if not all of them. It would also end all GOP careers. I'm okay with that purge. Let's get some fresh blood in there.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, yeah, we'll lose probably Bernie as collateral damage. And that age was going to do that eventually anyway.
Yeah. I mean, age is going to do that faster than to Trump, I think. Like, have you seen how, like, like he's taking cognitive tests. He's gone for two physicals. He's gone for two annual physicals in the last 1 year.
He thought that a cognitive test was an IQ
He thought
test.
a cognitive test was an IQ
Again.
test. He's bragging about his results on it. They called for an MRI after he did the test this time, instead of just leaving it at the test. He's got his bruised hand. He's got his fat cankles. He's wandering off in the middle of like you saw the video of him in Japan.
No, I didn't. There's a video of him in Japan.
Oh yeah, he like they were doing a thing where I guess he had to like walk around the room to like inspect the troops or something, and he kept wandering off in the wrong direction, and the Prime Minister of Japan had to keep like leading him back to where he's supposed to be. Um and what's really funny about that is that the left-wing guy, who I think he works for Midas Touch, for the Midas Network, he posted a short video of Trump getting lost during this meeting, and then I think it's actually run by a White House staffer. The account is called Rapid Response 47. And they posted like a longer video and was like, why did you only post the short video? You just posted a clip to make it look bad, but here's the whole video. And in the whole video, he gets lost like another 3 times. So it's like, you get how this makes it worse, right?
Liz Chris, thank you for redeeming your points for an ooh woo woo again. Vanguard as well with and think it's Vanguard? No, Jassa with another ooh woo.
Yeah, so there's something wrong with Trump. I have my fingers crossed that it's fatal. We're allowed to hope that.
There's definitely a lot of shit wrong with him.
The fillet of fishes are finally catching up with him.
And the Egg McMuffins.
He called the cognitive test difficult. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's the same test he had before, the woman, man, person, camera, TV.
Giraffe.
Like, yeah, no, that's a test that either you ace it or you have dementia. Those are the two options. If you thought it was hard, then if you don't have dementia yet, it's coming. But yeah, anyway, so the rapid response 47 thing when they post the whole video, what I am convinced happened there, like, now I am not going to say that Joe Biden was perfectly cognitively functioning for his entire presidency, but it was definitely exaggerated anytime he had any sort of slip up whatsoever. And what happened a lot was like he would like wander off towards someone, but then the right wing media would cut off the someone, so it looked like he just wandered off. So I think they remember that the response to that was people posting the whole video where it's like, oh no, you can see that he's not just randomly wandering off, he's walking towards this other person here. And so the rapid response team was like, oh, well, that was always the response to Biden, so let's just play the whole video and say that, oh, you took it out of context. But it's like, no, the context makes it worse, my guy.
Always.
All right. E.L. Yacobi says, Senator John Fetterman to Democrats. Stop calling Trump an autocrat, but he is one.
Yep.
Don't force a government shutdown. The Republicans are doing that. Accept Trump's help on crime. He's not helping. He's making things worse. Stand with Israel against Islamism. It's not about Islamism. It's about not fucking killing children and wounded people in hospitals and shit. And Mamdani doesn't reflect our party. Yeah.
Good.
And that's a serious
like good.
That is correct, and that should make the party take a really long look at itself given how popular Mamdani is.
The party that fucking pushed Bernie out of the Democratic primaries for the presidency should be looking at Mamdani and going, "Oh, right,
I can learn from
doing.
this. They should be learning from this. Yes, he doesn't reflect the party, but he reflects what people want. So maybe learn from that."
Stoff just sent me this and said, "Ask Rhino if this is sexy enough."
I don't know. That doesn't come across as sexy. That just comes across as dressed normally, like that. I don't know.
That just comes across as a trans rat.
That's a goth rat sort of. Is that goth? There's too much pink for it to be goth, but like
pastel goth. It's not even pastel goth, because pastel goth would be mostly the pastels.
I mean, judging from the color scheme on the skirt,
that's the one.
I mean, but the color scheme on the skirt is very much like it's the trans flag, obviously.
Yeah, I forgot that emo was a thing where you think you're goth, but you actually just hate yourself more. Yeah, sure. I forgot about that.
Oh, Fennec says they want to see. Okay, this is safe for the stream. We can show this. But now I have to save it, and then I have to display it, and then I have to blah, 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 blah. You guys making me work. How dare you guys make me work for a living? Okay. Goth Rat. Oh, right, we agreed it wasn't goth. I'm sorry, I mislabeled it. Image. Rat. Browse. Itchy head. Oh.
Axo says that's not what emo means. Okay.
That's stuff sexy rat. Like it's not sexy, but it's not like sexy, if you know what I mean. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, it just is.
Yeah, like it's not unsexy, but I'm not going to crank it to that. Okay. Moving on.
Anyway.
The Patriot Oasis says, "Holy crap, Mike Johnson lays it all out when asked if he would bring back the House to vote on another continuing resolution. We have a CR that's been sitting over there since September 19th. Look, I think Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are irredeemable at this point." Again, just remember, like, they keep trying to blame the Democrats for the shutdown, but they control all three branches of government. And here's the thing about governing. Governing is not, I get my way all the time and you get nothing. Governing is, we need to figure out what is best for all the people, so we need to work together to do that thing.
Oh, whoa. Sylvie, hold on. I gotta correct some stupid fucking shit in my chat right now. From Axo
Gadget
and
hack wrench in that red dress.
From Axo, y'all need to learn about subcultures. Axo, I grew up when emo became a thing. Don't test me. I grew up in the generation where that became a thing.
Yeah, but you grew up in the Pensacola Bible Academy. So
and then I went to a public school also afterwards. Point being, I am making a joke that was made about emo subculture by goths when I was growing up. I am literally taking the piss.
Okay, I'm just picturing the author of the Harry Potter fanfic called My Immortal. Like, stop flaming, haters.
Axo says, then you have no excuse again. So you understand that, like, so goth, emo, and scene cultures all had people who very, very hardline adhered to their aesthetics, to their music, to everything, and would take the piss out at each other in so doing. Like, that was a part of it. Well, you got the tism. Congratulations.
Yes. Welcome to the stream. You must be new here. Okay, they're all talking about Gadget Hackwrench in my chat now. I know who Gadget Hackwrench is.
Stop says, I was in the scene kid gen. I was better.
I just did not know that she had a red dress. Like, I'm sure if I did a search for a red dress, if it wasn't immediately not safe for work stuff, I would probably recognize the red dress. But I don't remember it offhand. But I do know who Gadget is. I was more of a Bianca boy myself from Rescue Rangers. No, not Rescue Rangers. Rescuers Down Under. And just the Rescuers, I guess. Rescuers Down Under was the second one, but I liked it better than the first one.
That Sylvia Sisters didn't deny the boomer allegations. I'm not going to deny that I'm older. Like, I'm 33 or 34. I fucking forget. But point is, I am able to make jokes about a thing that literally happened as I was growing up. I will shake my fist at the children of this generation at this fucking point.
Yeah, people are telling me it's safe for work, but I'm still not Google image searching something, even if you guys say it's safe for work.
Fennec says, how do you forget how old you are? Give it time, Fennec.
Yeah, no, I forget how old I am all the damn time. I forget. You guys saw earlier on this stream, I don't know how old my fucking kids are. Rory is 16. I know that because they can drive a car now. And then the other two of mine I figure out because they're 2 years apart. So Ridley is 14 and Gavin is 12. And then there's the other two who are within 1 year of each other, but I don't remember what that year is. Anyway, moving on. The Persian says Jon Stewart makes around $25 million a year for The Daily Show. His staff makes $65,000 to $110,000 per year. If he likes communism so much, he should share his $1 million paycheck with his staff instead of pushing a pro-terrorist radical on New York City.
Is Jon Stewart a communist?
So here's the thing. He was. This was when he was interviewing Mamdani, and he was very friendly to him. So my thing is, yeah, Jon Stewart should be paid less, and his writers should be paid more, and his other staff. I agree. that doesn't mean that it's wrong to vote for Mamdani because sometimes entertainers get paid too much.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Either way, like anytime somebody claims, if you like socialism so much, why don't you give all your money away? If you like communism so much, why don't you give all your money away? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we do not live in a world where you can live without money, and I'm also sorry that there are people who have career paths where they are able to make money.
Well, there's
Like,
also so my
it
thing
doesn't
here.
fucking work.
My thing here is like we look at celebrities endorsing people or whatever. Let's just pretend for a moment that it's like whatever. So Jon Stewart is on the left. I'm not going to name someone from the right, but let's just Kid Rock. Sure, let's name someone from the right. Kid Rock is on the right.
Tucker Carlson.
Whatever. I don't care. So sure, Tucker Carlson, I guess, would be the better opposite for Jon Stewart. So Jon Stewart's on the left, Tucker Carlson's on the right. The people that Jon Stewart's telling you to vote for are going to tax Jon Stewart more and make your life easier as a result, as they use those tax dollars to do things like give you health care and pay for schools and things. The Tucker Carlsons are telling you to vote for people who are going to make Tucker Carlson's life easier and nobody else's. So even if, yes, it's hypocritical for Jon Stewart to advocate for a socialist, socialism's still better for people. It's still worse for Jon Stewart than capitalism.
Also, it doesn't make any sense at all if you know what communism and socialism are. Because that's like saying, why would you want to be a communist when you live in a state? Boy, howdy, I don't have a fucking choice in that one, my guy, don't you think?
Yes, I was kind of conflating my terms. I know that there's nuance to it. But like that's kind of my point here is that like if we're just going by what the celebrities are saying, what the overpaid celebrities are saying, one of them is saying, yes, I should have less money by paying higher taxes to help to help the less fortunate. Whereas the other is saying, fuck you, I want more money.
Speaking of fuck you, Jump Point, thank you for naming your points for an ooh woo woo, you fucking degenerate. And also Cyber Chill with an ooh woo 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 woo. And Nethercat with an ooh woo. All of you. Yep, you all got your shit.
This had the potential to be such a short episode.
It did. It really did. But I feel like part of the shortness of the episode is actually because of how exhausted I am.
I mean, I've been rushing through things as well. Okay, this is fun. So Polymarket, the company that like takes wagers on who's going to win elections or whatever, say breaking: Mamdani's odds collapse in New York City mayoral election. If he continues falling at the rate he has for the past 24 hours, Cuomo would be the projected winner. So he's lost 8 percentage points in his favorability or whatever. So he's now only 87% likely to win the election.
That's still better than not having a chance at winning the election.
Do you want the chaser?
Sure.
So this was posted on October 28th. So like the previous 24 hours, he dropped 8 percentage points down to 87%. And they're like, if this continues, Cuomo's going to win. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? This is just a chart that I can look up. So I looked up what today's numbers were. He went up another point to 88%. I was like, oh, looks like that trend didn't continue. Huh. Was there any reason you thought it should continue, or was that just pulling it out of your ass?
A lot of it's going to be out of the ass. Right now, there's so much hate for Mamdani, and it all feels artificial.
Mm-hmm.
All of it feels artificial.
Yeah. Like, who fucking cares if he called his cousin his aunt? No, like that is tan suit levels of scandal.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Republicans were honestly calling for Obama to be impeached over that?
I hear about it in hindsight, but I don't remember it happening.
Can you fucking imagine if Obama had done a third of the shit that Trump did? If Obama knocked down the East Wing of the White House, can you imagine the outrage that would be coming from the right? Even if it was for the exact same purpose.
I can imagine it. because Republicans were convinced of it without it even happening. So
Yeah.
if you remember when Obama was president, we heard all kinds of shit about FEMA camps. We heard all kinds of shit about the military's being prepared to do something big.
Oh,
They're going to
I
do
remember
something big.
that was back when I had my libertarian leanings. I remember being convinced that Obama was going to open death camps with his like Obamacare was going to lead to death camps where the government is now deciding who gets to live and who gets to die.
Exactly. So when you say like, can you imagine if he had done those things? Well, yes, I can, because we already lived in that reality, because the Republicans were responding to that reality whether it was true or not.
Mm-hmm.
They were responding to that version of events,
Yeah, it's funny how
irrespective of how
you
true it
groom an
was.
entire base to not pay attention to what actual reality is, and now they're completely disconnected from reality. Huh.
Pretty much.
Funny how that happens. Robbie Starbuck says Jesus believed in teaching men how to fish, not continually giving them fish, right? That's a Republican ideal. I feel like we covered this before, but I also feel like we might not have because of the way it was in my folder.
Bragwin says calling any woman you care about an aunt is a core part of black and brown culture. It's racist attack dressed up as fact checking. So I'm gonna spin that a little bit differently, because I don't think it's a racist attack. What I think it is I think it is a default attack from a person who is racist, which ends up coming out being the same fucking thing, honestly. But it's one of those things where if the person's core, if at their core they believe a fuck ton of like dumb racist shit, you're more likely to get that stuff out of their mouth, and they don't even think it's aimed at race. It might even be considered worse because it's so subconscious.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, which are you more afraid of? The person who legitimately hates you and your kind, or the person who doesn't feel like they hate you and your kind, but is so thoroughly convinced by propaganda about X, Y, and Z that leads to them always doing things that are to your detriment? Like, which one is more dangerous? I don't actually know.
Yeah. Well, back to Mr. Starbuck. So he says Jesus believed in teaching a man how to fish, not just continually giving them fish, right? That's a Republican ideal. Jesus is rather famous for giving away
giving away the fish
and not actually teaching anyone how to fish. Like that's his thing. Like he actually gets mad at people for following him around for free food instead of the messages that he's giving with the free food, but he continues to give them free food. But he's not. It's not ever like fuck you, go find your own fish. It's always you need to be paying attention to the spiritual messages, but while you're here, I'm going to make sure your physical needs are taken care of.
Jesus, give a man a fish and then give him another fish and then multiply the fish and give a man another fish.
Yeah, it was actually it was actually Confucius that originally did that whole give a man a fish and he eats for a day, and teach a man to fish and he eats for life thing.
The thing is, though, people always misconstrue that. They always think that means you never should give a hand out, as if it's a dichotomy. You can either give a hand up or a hand out. You can do both.
Give them a fish and teach them how to fish. And now you have made it so that they're not starving to death until they can be self-sufficient.
Correct.
That's the thing. Like the thing that drives me nuts in all of this debate about whether or not illegals deserve health care or food stamps or whatever they're doing with the illegals, or like, no, man, these are just human beings. Human beings deserve food and health care.
I think human beings should be fed. I don't give a fuck.
Care what their papers say. I feel like they deserve to be treated like human beings with a base level of human dignity. I don't care if they're here legally or illegally. This is the one part of Atlas Shrugged, well, not of Atlas Shrugged specifically, but of libertarian philosophy. The one part that I kind of agree with is they will tell you that borders are arbitrary. And so I'm like, yes. So crossing borders should not be the big ordeal that it is. Now, I would not go as far as the hardcore libertarians would go, where like it should just be anarchy, no checkpoints whatsoever. I'm okay with there being checkpoints and like certain amounts of controls, but like if somebody wants to move into Canada, I don't I don't understand any of the arguments against allowing immigration,
Yeah.
especially in countries like Canada and the United States, where the same people who are against immigration will turn around and tell you that we're not having enough babies. Like, okay, you know what a good way to solve that is? There are a bunch of countries that are having too many babies. We could take immigration from those countries, and now we've got enough people.
Or do what we've done with China before, just import babies.
Yeah, like
Who cares? It's a person. Why the fuck
it's
do I
just a
have to
person who
give a
wants to
shit?
live.
Why the fuck do I have to give a shit about the skin color of the person? Oh, it changes the demographics of the area, and that changes the politics downstream. I don't give a fuck. I don't
No,
give a fuck.
they're just
All that's made up
people.
bullshit. Every single bit of that is made up bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I find myself agreeing with libertarians. It's all made up bullshit. It's all arbitrary. So why do we even bother policing it? I mean, like like I'm okay with checkpoints. It's like a criminal actively fleeing the law, like someone who just murdered someone and is trying to run away to another country. It'd be nice if we had a system in place to like not allow those people to just escape. But that's an extreme minority case.
Harry, as he points out, that would be barbarism, not anarchy. And the word anarchy means something different to like 15 different ideologies. It look, I wholly understand the want for labels to be specific and for labels to be consistent because it's really important for communication. I really do get it, but usually when somebody says the term anarchy in the streets, they are meaning barbarism. Like that is what they are referring to. Understandably, anarchism as a concept is not that. But I digress.
Okay. Moving on. Next tweet. Timmy Pool says,
Oh
"Why do
boy,
I
he's
work
back.
16 hours a day and pay half of my income into..." First off, I don't believe that he works
You
16 hours a day and pay half my income in taxes. I don't think that's his tax rate. So that people don't have to work, it makes no sense. Either mandate work for welfare recipients while they're in search of employment, or abolish the system and start over. Counterpoint:
so
rich people can afford to pay some money so that people who are less fortunate cannot starve.
and Sarah Chikorita points out they already fucking mandate that. Like we already do that. It's a couple of systems. We have a system called means testing. That's one of the ways that we try to do that shit. Another system that we use is the one where if you are not looking for work and can't prove you're looking for work, then your benefits can get cut off. That little fun anxiety nugget that I've heard people deal with before. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's not just a you're not working, you get free money type of thing. There are some people who manage that situation, but usually that is not the case.
So when I lost my job at one of the hotels, um, I was fired over text message while I was on vacation. And the reason that they told me that I was fired is because I took an unauthorized vacation, even though they paid out my vacation pay. And my manager said, "Have a nice time," when I left on the last shift before my vacation. So I don't know what part of it was unauthorized. Like I did all the paperwork and everything. Um, but the guy in charge of the accounting there, he was refusing to issue my record of employment, which you need to collect unemployment benefits. Um, and so eventually I emailed him with a link to the Canada Revenue Agency, that's our version of the IRS. I linked him to their article on what happens if you fail to issue a record of employment, which was like there's prison time and a up to $5,000 fine or something like that. And his response to that was to email me back and be like, "Oh, well, because you're being like this, I am changing the reason from your for you leaving from being laid off to you quit." And
That's also
that
illegal.
that is illegal. Um, but like if he had not put it explicitly in the email, that would have made it very difficult for me to actually collect unemployment benefits, because you're not allowed to quit your job and collect unemployment. The idea is you have to always be searching for work. We can't be paying you for nothing. So it was fairly easy for me because he explicitly said it in the email. I was able to just like forward the email to the unemployment office and be like, "Hey, I was laid off, but this guy's a jerk. And they were like, yeah, no, just it's fine. We'll just make it go. And they didn't actually do anything about it, but I did get my benefits. Um, but like that's the kind of means testing we have here. And also, when you're on unemployment, you're allowed to work up to a certain number of hours, but then after that, they stop paying you. Now,
Yep.
I bring this up because the evidence has shown very much that like means testing and making things contingent on other things or whatever, they don't actually make it more effective in any way. Like if you just hand poor people a wad of cash, it will be better for the economy than all this means testing bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And like it doesn't lower their willingness to work. It doesn't like Canada actually had a universal basic income program in, I think it was the 70s. It was a pilot program that got canceled before it finished because the government changed. But the preliminary results showed that the only groups of people who saw a reduction in willingness to work were pregnant mothers and young people who were in school. So the only people who were less willing to work were people who arguably should not have to work as much. Like you're going to school to get an even better job, or you're a pregnant mother, you're staying home to take care of a child. And like
Yeah.
and when you just give a poor person a dollar, that dollar turns into something like it varies by country, but it goes anywhere from like $1.20 to $2.50, something like that. Like I'm pulling these numbers from memory, so they might
Are
be
you
wrong.
talking about
But like of
the
economic,
acceleration of currency?
so the economic impact, like its impact on the GDP of the country that you're in. If you give a poor person a dollar, it turns into like $1.20 to $2.50 of economic impact. So like it is better for the economy, it's better for the country, it's better for the people if you just give poor people cash. No means testing. Will some people abuse the system? Probably. Will it be the majority of them? Absolutely not.
Robert Adset says that means testing generally makes things more expensive. Oftentimes it does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the amount of money that's wasted in trying to make sure these people, like there are entire government departments that are dedicated to just like reviewing people's self-reports of how much they've worked for their unemployment benefits.
Just imagine how much easier it would be if we just didn't do that. Also, Wolforian, thank you for redeeming your points for an uwu again.
Yeah. So yeah, means testing and make it like even like SNAP benefits. Just give them cash. It doesn't have to be a SNAP card that can only be used in certain stores for certain items or whatever. Just like just
I ain't
cash
on
would be
food
better.
stamps. I ain't looking for a handout. I got me this SNAP card. That's what I use to pay for my groceries.
Yeah. Anyway, Timmy Boy is the last one, so we can end it here.
Oh God, I've been waiting to end it for a long time.
Yeah, Cirrus is desperate to stop ooh-ooing all over the place. So, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, next Wednesday stream should be normal, but next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, I will be with Hemant Meta. I will be streaming to my main channel. I will probably also be streaming to the Watering Hole. And if Cirrus is with me, I'll stream to his channels too.
And fucking Jassa with an ooh again. Ooh fucking monster. Clueless expert as well with an ooh.
And Olivia Williams for 279 says even F.A. Hayek, famous libertarian, was for UBI. Yep. Not necessarily UBI. He had a like negative tax incentive thing where like if your income was below a certain amount, you would pay negative income tax. So essentially, it worked out to being the same as UBI. Is just like a weird income tax structure. Anyway, thanks for joining, everybody. Remember, next Thursday's Heaven Meta and fundraiser. Go to donate.vicetoronto.com. It still hasn't officially kicked off, but like it'd be nice to officially kick it off with already a couple in the bag. So yeah, thanks for joining. Have a good night. Sirs, are you staying on after? I
No,
can't imagine that you are.
I don't have that kind of energy.
Okay, I might raid Jake. I'll see if there's anyone on. Somebody said Jake, so we'll see. So yeah, as always, fuck off.